Good morning, everybody. Joe Chacho here. Happy Monday, everybody. Jay just gave me a holler back there. Say, Joe, we got to get on the call. There's already 37 people on the call, so we'll wait just a couple seconds. Perhaps more people log in. I've got three guests. Heather and I were talking, and we were trying to figure out a way to get the Facebook leads out there. A lot of agents are still a little bit hesitant. They think they're like a phone lead. They're a little bit nervous, and phone leads for some people have been good, some have not been good, so they're a little bit kind of shy to try it. Price is not bothering them. What they're looking at is the return on their investment. So Heather and I started talking. She said, Joe, why don't we maybe get Luis back on the call? He was on the call about maybe 3 weeks ago. So one thing led to another. We've got Luis from Arizona be on the call as one of our panelists. We've got Chris from California, as well as Andrew. He's right here in Florida with us, going to be on the call. And probably the easiest way for me to do it here is just instead of everybody having like background noise, I'm going to open everybody up at one time, and we're going to see if there's background noise, and if there is because they may be driving or maybe they have like kids in the background. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open everybody up. Jay, open everybody up, please. Okay, Luis and Andrew, are you open?
Yes. Hello, hello. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. Jay doesn't see Chris on the phone yet, so what we'll do is that we'll kind of get it going, and when he pops on, Jay will open him up. Chris, if you're on the call on a different number, do me a *2, and Jay will see your hand pop up. You may have a different number right now. Chris, if you're there, do a *2. Jay will get you open. Okay, he's not here yet. He probably, California may have overslept. So, okay. Well, first of all, thank you guys for being on the call. It's very nice for you guys to want to participate. And Luis was on the call recently, and a lot of people got a lot of useful information, and they're very happy that agents are speaking about this here. We all know direct mail's been around for 100 years, and which I'm exaggerating. Everybody knows how that works. So, what I'm going to do, Heather sent you a bunch of different questions to ask, and I'm going to kind of go in a different order that she put them in for you guys. So I'm going to start off with Luis first. Luis, do you feel that people are more receptive to the Facebook leads when you get the brand new lead in?
Yes, I think they're more receptive than almost any lead I've seen other than a TV lead. They just press send. They just ask for the information. They were just online, so something in their head made them go that way. So they know they requested something, and they know where it came from. Most people know it came from Facebook. So for that fact, for them to know that, and then them to know that you're going to get a hold of them because they just got an email with your information, that just changes the game for us.
Okay. Andrew, what are your thoughts so far on these leads compared to another type of lead? Are they more receptive, or they're answering their phone, or what do you feel so far?
Well, I think you hit it all right on top of the head. I think people are very receptive to these because they're the ones that they're going out and searching for something, and then they see this advertisement with your name and number or email popping up. So I think it's definitely going to be the new wave of how things are going to come about with social media. This is one of them right here. Obviously, I would assume it'll be tweaked as time goes on, but right now I think it's a great avenue for us agents to get our hands on fresh leads of people that are really in the market looking for these, because I actually even had one on a Saturday afternoon at 5 o'clock. I had somebody give me a call, and I was like, wow. So that's never happened to me before on when it came to leads, and I've been doing this for 10 years. So I'm excited about it.
Well, that's my next question I was going to lead into. Has anybody, matter of fact, I'll let you elaborate, Andrew, because you just mentioned this here. People have called you back. The call you got Saturday around 5 o'clock, was it an appointment? Did you go to their house? How did it go?
Well, I will be having the appointment coming up. Sure, yeah. I did talk with the individual. I was on my way out to dinner. The person was very nice, very courteous. They were actually saying, I apologize for calling you at this time of day on a weekend, whatever it may be. I said, no, not a problem. But yeah, hopefully it's going to turn into something special on Tuesday when I have to go out and see this one individual here locally. So it was a shocker to me, to be quite frank with you. I never really had people, calling me for insurance out of the blue on a cold whim, other than a referral.
Yes, it's kind of bizarre. It's just like you said, the actual leads are changing, the market is changing, social media. But now I know Luis has had people calling. Luis, how many people? Because this is what, your fifth or sixth order you've done, Luis, on the Facebook leads. Am I around the right number?
I have. You're correct. Yeah, about 5 or 6. And I've had a couple people call me the same thing. Hey, are you my agent? I need this information now. Maybe one lady had, she just went through a death. So, people are really wanting this information, the ones that want it, so they're going to look for you. If you don't call them, I'm the type of person, if someone doesn't call me, I'm going to call them, hey, especially if it's something I'm looking for and I'm interested in. So, yeah, they have called me a couple times, but that makes them that more receptive. They know who you are.
Mm-hmm. And for everybody to know, not the reason why, the potential client, we are told they send out, Facebook, the actual vendor we use, sends out about 250 advertisements in the areas that you decide you want to work in. From there, it's got your name, your phone number, and I believe it also has your email address on there. Does it have your email address on there, Luis? Do you remember?
Yes, it should have your email address as well.
Okay. So it's got everything about you. So Andrew just started doing this 3 weeks ago. Has already got somebody calling. Luis had other people calling them. And it is kind of bizarre because we're always trying to call them, because we buy a lead, and this lead is very important to us because it costs us money. And now the people are calling us, it's kind of like, whew, this is like a sense of breath of fresh air. So, okay, Luis, I'm gonna start with you now. Are you calling the people to set appointments? Are they receptive? Or are you doing it the old-fashioned way and going door knocking? Based on your area in Arizona, what do you feel more comfortable?
All right. So luckily, I've been able to mess with it. When I first got him, I got really gung ho. I said, I'm good on the phone. So I started calling them. I made tons of appointments. If you were on that first call, I was like, yes, you can make appointments. You can do this. Well, a couple of days of full appointments, when you first get these leads, you're going to see that they're a little spread out because you just got them. And like you said, I've gotten about 5 orders, and I'm starting to order every Monday. But what I'm seeing, I'm starting to get bunches in one area here. Every area is starting to get more and more leads in that area. So, when I was calling, I was first just going from one place to another, maybe 45 minutes this way, an hour this way. They're still in the same city, but the city could get big and the traffic could get, a lot. So they were not showing up. And so I was wasting more time just trying to get to these appointments because I had appointments. And when they don't show up, I don't have nothing to do other than, okay, get back into the order of knocking doors. So I've been knocking doors. I've started just knocking doors, and I've kept knocking doors because, on the phone, they can easily make an appointment with you just to get you off the phone. It depends how good you are on the phone. If you like making appointments and they're showing up, hey, keep doing it. But again, I've been able to mess with it, luckily. So knocking on doors for me has always been the natural way of doing it because that's the way we were trained. We could not call leads. We would get fired, or we'd fire our agents if they called on leads because they come back a few days later for more leads after 25 leads. Those leads you should be working all week. So again, I've been going, but once they get old and you haven't been able to get to them, you can call them. Again, the low-hanging fruit is if you calling them, they're making appointments, you ain't going to sound right away. You're going to get that. So if you're good on the phone, but if you don't want to waste leads as well, because your first order of leads, my suggestion is go door knock them because you might not be that good on the phone. I would say get in front of people. It's harder for them to say no to you in front of your face.
I agree. Andrew, what has been your experience? Are you calling, setting appointments? Are you door knocking? You just started basically doing this here, but what have you found out so far?
What I find out, what I do with these is I definitely give them a phone call first and try to, I would say, pretty much sell the whole thing over the phone, but I really press the issue of their interest, if this is something they're really doing or if it's, something that they just kicking it around. And But the ones that I do talk to on the phone, I'm going to get a pretty much of a yes answer prior to me going out there, and I try to set that thing either that day or the following morning. I'm not going to say, using today as an example, if I have somebody that's hot and ready and they're interested and they have all the signs of wanting to buy, I'm not giving them an option of Thursday and Friday to go see them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be in your area, Mr. Jones, this afternoon at 3:00 and again tonight at 6 or tomorrow at 9. Which one of the three is best for you? So I do give them that one extra choice of this afternoon or tomorrow. On the other end of the spectrum, I have had, a decent amount of ones that I couldn't get a hold of. So those are the ones that definitely I'm going to go and door knock in between the mailers that I have in my arsenal now that I'm already out there. I'm just going to put them in my little radar, if you want to call it, of all the other door knocks that I have of direct mail leads that I've had in the past. So, I'm definitely, to answer your original question, Joe, I'm definitely giving them a call and really pressing the issue, what their interest is right then and there when they come in.
Okay. And, another nice thing about these leads here, I don't know if everybody knows, when you get a lead in, there's going to be a possibility they don't answer the phone, they're not going to be home. In 14 days, an automatic email is generated to go back out to the client who responded to the lead. That is something that we don't get in final expense. So you start thinking about that there. If you don't get a hold of them, it's not the end of the world, because in 14 days it's going to come up again in front of them. And then hopefully within that 14-day period, you may be there on the 15th or 16th day and say, hey, we sent you a reminder. What some agents are starting to do that I spoke to who realize the value of that 14-day follow-up email, what they're doing when they're buying direct mail leads or they're buying phone leads or they're even doing a referral to go back to see the client, they've actually composed up a little letter stating recently you sent a card in, recently you sent a postage paid card in, wanted some information, I'm going to be around your area today or tomorrow, just to let them know that the agent will be coming back, and they put a copy of the lead in there. So that's something that other people have done in the past, and it works well. So maybe something that you guys may want to do. You think about it, between the stamp, the envelope, it may cost you 50, 60 cents or 75 cents to do it. And the nice thing about it is that you're back in front of them again. You're actually rebirthing your lead. So thank you, Andrew. Okay, Andrew, I'm going to start with you on this one here. Are the people asking you for other stuff other than final expense, or is it just so far final expense with you?
Well, thus far, how should I answer? I have something that's strange that came on my email here this morning, because I also do Medicare, standardized supplements. And I have a lead here of an 80-year-old male that is inquiring about Medicare supplemental insurance and has all his information on it, and I don't know where it's coming from, so I'm assuming it's coming from one of these Facebook leads potentially. Mm-hmm. That he's contacted me back via email. So, but I do ask, to answer your question, I also do ask at the end of my spiel with them over the phone, so, by the way, are you currently happy with your Medicare situation right now since you're over 65? And I go from there. So, no, I really haven't had somebody come out and say, hey, I'm looking for auto or I'm looking for Medicare. It's definitely, people know that these are life insurance leads, these Facebook leads.
Well, I know that the standard age that the vendor uses is ages 50 to 80 is standard. Now, Luis, I'm going to ask you the same question. Are you getting other responses? And you lowered your age, you got with Heather, and you lowered your age to what, 30 or 35, because in the Spanish neighborhoods and territory you're working, more Spanish people buy insurance for their whole family, or they're buying a little bit younger for their parents. Is that what you're seeing?
It is, but even though I've lowered it, my average client has been over 50. So they have been final expense clients. Maybe I've got two that were younger. But I was still able to sell them an ROP when they did call me. But what I'm seeing is that when you work the system the way you're supposed to, when you walk into the house, it doesn't matter what lead you're working, but you walk in as an educator, they're going to be receptive to that. And as you teach them on, you have kids, I have kid policies, I have these policies called return of premium. They're good for younger people, right? You don't want them to want that policy because they're probably not going to get approved, first of all. So I've sold maybe 5 or 6 ROPs in the past week for children of the parents. So it's just like anything else. It's finding that need within that client, and then the family has needs, and they can't believe that they get their money back, so they look at it as an investment for their children. So, yeah, I'm selling other things, but it's more me asking, me getting out of them who else needs something in the household. You want to go in the house. This lead is just going to be as good as you are finding other leads, finding other referrals, but I love the leads, so far, so.
So basically, I think both of you guys are leading with the final expense because of the age that we're targeting, and that's what the actual ad is saying. Yet when you're in the house, what you do is you cultivate, ask questions to find out if they need anything else. Do they have a mortgage? What about your kids? What about your grandkids? So it's just like another type of lead. You're getting in front of somebody at a much less expensive price, because right now these leads, you can get them for 30 leads a week on a recurring order every week. You do 5 and a quarter, and you get 30 plus leads. You said, I think that works out to be $17.50 a lead, and
That's
if the
tremendous.
vendor has extra, you get them for even less than that there. Here in Florida, a direct mail piece, which is a great lead, there's really got not really much on time sensitive because it's got their name, their age, their phone number, is $34. Other states, they're 30 or 32. So when you get a lead that's this inexpensive, it almost is something you almost got to try to see what it's about. So, okay, what I want to do is I got a couple more questions, but I'm going to hold on the questions. If anybody wants to ask a question, and I already see Miss Titus's hand is already up. If anybody wants to ask Luis or Andrew a question, raise your hand, do me a *2, and whatever question you want to ask, please ask. So, Jay, open up, Marie. Marie,
Hello.
you're on the air.
Hi.
Good morning.
Everyone. I would like to get both gentlemen's perspectives, both Luis and Andrew. I got that, Luis, you tried to you tried to call, but that didn't give you the best results. When you door knock, what exactly do you say? I heard Andrew say, we can meet in the afternoon, but leading up to that, what do you say?
Yeah, I can answer that for you. So basically, I'm a delivery man. I'm delivering information. If we look, we have delivery notices, and, we just got some in Spanish. Joe, thanks for those. I just got them the other day. So, you're a delivery man. You're just going to the door as a delivery person. So nobody wants to be sold nothing. Nobody wants to hear about, Jehovah at the door. My family comes from Jehovah's Witnesses, so no offense to anybody, but they don't want it. They're going to hide from you. But when you're delivering something, everybody likes seeing the UPS man. Everybody likes seeing FedEx coming to their door because they want to know what it is. So when you leave, I have a delivery from Ms. Jones. They come to the door. Hey, Ms. Jones, you requested some information online recently. I'm just here to give you that information. And then it's going to start that conversation. Online, where I don't know. Maybe I act dumb. Maybe Facebook. Maybe you are on Twitter. I don't know. We just get information from online, and we just come to you. My job is just to give you the information. I don't know what you pressed. Maybe it was Facebook. And they're going to remember in their head. I'm just here to get, and then you get from in the door. I'm here to give you the information. If you got 10 or 15 minutes, I'll be out of your hair, and you get in the door. So really, it's a really simple mind game that you're playing with them, because you're allowing them to say, oh, what is that you're delivering, which opens up the opportunity to let them know what they asked for and why you're there.
Okay, so basically you just simply say, hey, Ms. Jones, you requested some information online recently, and I'm here to deliver the information. Can I have a few minutes of your time?
The first thing I do, I don't even go into anything. The first thing I'm saying is, I'm not saying my name, is I have a delivery for Ms. Jones. When I knock on the door and someone opens, it might be their kid, it might be them, or I'm Ms. Jones. Hey, Ms. Jones, you recently requested some information online about final expense insurance. I'm here. I'm the licensed agent that they send to get you that information. You have a couple of minutes, you get in the door. The goal there is to get in the door, because they know that they ask for your information. So yeah, the first thing that comes out of your mouth is very simple: is I have a delivery from Ms. Jones. That's the way I door knock. A lot of people do it differently. I'm not going to introduce myself and give them all my information until I sit down at the kitchen table with them.
Okay, so
Andrew?
I have a delivery from Miss Jones. And if it's Miss Jones who doesn't answer the phone, who doesn't come to the door?
Well, they're going to say, "Oh, where are you? What? Miss Jones requested some information. Is she home?" And they're going to hear them say, "Hi, Mom, you got a delivery out here." They're not going to say they got an insurance man or you got this or you got that. They're going to say, "You have a delivery at the door." So Miss Jones is going to say, "What is it?" Her mind's going to click and say, "What are they trying to deliver to me?"
Okay. Do you have in your hand a printout?
I don't have an actual printout. It's you can give me a call, get my number, and then I'll kind of go over it with you. I'll make a printout. It's just a delivery method. But I know when you're first starting, you want to get something you can study and go over. But the door knocking is essential to the leads, because if you're first starting and you're ordering one order, and then you're thinking about the next one, you're just not 100% sold, and you're just calling on these leads, you're not going to get 100% sold. You might sell a couple, but I just don't sell as many if I'm just calling. And if they tell you on the phone, "No, that wasn't me, I don't want nothing," and they hang up, you have to go to that door anyway, like if you never called them. "Oh, someone's called me already. Ms. Jones, we don't call. That's not us." And then you hand them the paper that you have from their lead. They're going to see that they did something to request that lead, to generate that lead.
Okay, thank you so much.
Love the leads that you send the agents. What's that, Marie?
Well,
go on, Andrew.
The only thing I would do different, is I do print it out. If I'm going to be in that area and I haven't caught them on the phone yet, these Facebook leads, I will print it out, and I will show up at the door and knock on it and say, "Hi, I'm looking for Mrs. Jones," and they'll come to the door, whoever it may be. "My name's Andrew Purple. I'm from Senior Solutions here in Lee County, Florida. Recently, Mrs. Jones, you were on the internet and you requested some information about the new final expense life insurance programs being made available here in the state of Florida. Well, that's the reason why I'm here today, is I wanted to provide you with this information. Do you have a few minutes where I can step in, please?" And while I'm saying that last sentence, my head bows just a bit. I break eye contact. I start wiping my feet to be assumptive that they're going to open up the door and let me in. So, and the whole time, by the way, I'm showing the printout also up to them. I'm not shoving it in their face, but I'm showing the printout to them with their name on it when they actually responded to the Facebook ad. So the whole key is like he was saying earlier, is you just got to be very assumptive when you get at the door, like, hey, it's your turn. I'm here now. They provide you the information like basically everybody else is getting here in Lee County. May I step in, please? The whole key is try to get into the door with a smile on your face. Just keep it simple while you're there.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay, Marie, thank
No
you.
problem.
Matter of fact, Chris just got on the call. Jay, open up, Chris. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let you guys see what an actual, not see, I'm going to tell you what's on the lead. What Heather sends you is the client's email address, their full name, their phone number. It's date stamped of when they actually sent the request in. It's got their street address, their city, and their zip code. So what agents are doing is that they're actually printing out this piece of paper that is given to them from Heather, and then from there, this is their form of a lead. Now, I've got one agent who's taken it to the next step further. When he's making this copy up, he runs it back again. He puts like a little Facebook emblem on the bottom right-hand side to where it kind of like refreshes their memory by the little Facebook there. So it's just something that is to get their mind acclimated. These leads, I think, are more time sensitive than a direct mail lead. They're time sensitive like a phone lead. But yet a phone lead, they're actually almost convinced to set an appointment, to have somebody come by. This here, they're doing on their own free will when they're out surfing the web or out just looking around. So they're filling this stuff out on their own free will. They want some type of information. We just got to get our butts in front of them to do it. So, okay. Next question that comes up, I'm going to have Chris answer it first, and then we'll go to Luis, then we'll go to Andrew. Okay, who's up, Jay? Sam, good morning, sir. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning. I wanted to find out what is the percentage of sales from those leads, you know? How many do you actually convert?
That's for Chris, right? Good morning, everybody.
Yeah,
Sorry I'm a little late.
Chris.
Hey.
Chris, you're on the air, brother.
You know what? The percentage, but let me kind of backtrack if I can real quickly. These leads are very time sensitive, and you will have your best success as soon as you get these leads to go out. The first week I let maybe about 4 or 5 of them kind of go into a couple weeks, and you know the success percentage wasn't as good as if doing it initially when you first get them. So I mean, I really wouldn't even be concerned on the percentage about it, and here's why. Because a lead is a lead, as every agent knows. Every experienced agent knows that a lead is a lead. It's no such thing as a bad lead. It's no such thing as a good lead. It's what the agent makes it. So your job to get your percentage up, if you keep that kind of track, I generally don't. I just get out there and pound all of them that I can. But I would say, if I would have to say, from the leads that I've gotten, probably I've closed about close to 35% of them. And I know that it would probably be a little bit higher if I hadn't, I had to take a little time off. But your chances of closing these leads are going to be so much higher once you get them, because they're kind of fresh on their mind. Now, I've even gotten some calls, and Luis, I'm sure you probably have too. Before you even contact the people, they've called me, and I didn't even know who these people were. So to answer your question, Sam, the faster you get out to these leads, because, like they said, they're like TV leads. If you work Lincoln Heritage, you know what those are. Your percentage is going to be a lot higher once you get out there and get them. So while you're out in your car, when Heather sends them to you, when I see my thing bing, pop up, I'm like, and I don't call. I did initially, but here in California, they don't answer their phones out here in California. Plain and simple. So
you just drive to meet them.
I go to them, man. I go to them because I know what my area is, and generally I'm in that particular area. So as soon as Heather sends them to you, show up to the door. And I had one of them that I did like that, and they must have gotten they must have did it online maybe just a few hours before then, and it came to me, and I went out there, closed it. They were like, "Man, that was fast. Well, come on in." So your percentage is going to be higher once you get them. Get out there to them, or if you call and if that's your bag, call them. But I personally, I'm sure like my boy Luis, we're out there knocking. So get out there and do that. Your percentage will go up high.
And they're not going to tell you to leave. They'll listen to your pitch then.
Well, yeah, you have as a greater propensity of them to let you in the door.
Got you.
Because, hey, man, I just did this a few hours ago. What the? And if they're not there, you got to do what? Go back to them. But if you need to call, if that's your game plan, call them. But make that contact as soon as you get them.
Got you. Thank you.
Luis, what is your closing ratio? And just hold on, Luis, before you answer that question. Right now, Chris just made a thing if they're not home. We have those little yellow delivery notices now that you can get. So instead of going back, Luis is a bounty hunter as well as a delivery man. My suggestion is when you go to their house, leave an actual delivery notice on their door until they give you a call back. When they call you back, I'd say I'm on the phone speaking with somebody. May I get right back with you? And if time's on your side, then go straight to their house. So those you can get online from us as well in English and Spanish. So, Okay, Luis, what is your closing perceptive?
Well, I've been able to again, see why agents also fail at this. I'm also a hunter gatherer out there. If I'm knocking on a door and they're not home, their kids say, they come home at 5 or 6 because they work every day. I know when to find them. But what's happened, in the past week or so, everybody has a reason. Everybody, when we're self-employed, there's always a reason not to get out and get in the field. This business, and especially these leads, it's all about activity. Your activity today will get you today's and tomorrow's sales. It's going to roll over. It's going to continue to roll over. But I've had a sick mom, unfortunately, recently. I just threw my back out about 4 or 5 days ago that I'm barely walking. But I know that, if I'm out there consistently, when I'm working over and over, I'm selling at least 30% of them, 30 to 40% of them. If I'm being a bounty hunter, if I'm working 60, 70 hours going back to them, finding them in the morning or finding them in the night. It just depends on the agent, not the lead. It's always been the agent. How are you going to be at the door? I mean, if you go to the door and you're very, I just wanted information. I thought it was free. They tell you on the phone or at the door. And you're like, sorry, it wasn't. And you walk away. Look, there's some interest there. Your job is to find it. Nobody wants to be sold anything. Your job is to just make them feel comfortable and get in the door. So my answer to that, I've been selling about 30%, but it's, those numbers kind of got messed up with me being out of the field the past 4 or 5 days. So it's all about continued activity. If you're going to work part-time on these leads, you're just going to call them and just hope on appointments. You're not going to get the best rates, the best returns on it. You've got to believe in the leads and order every week and work the system every single week. Now, you can take weeks off, just don't stop working.
Okay, thank you. Andrew, what I'm going to do, I'm going to let somebody else talk, and I'll let you start off with the first answer. Who's next, Jay? Thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
Emily Miller, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning. My question, I guess, is in regards to the timeliness of these, and I'm sorry I forgot your name, but the one gentleman was saying, okay, I get the lead, and I go immediately or within a few hours. I have always been a little bit in need of the crutch of having the printout. So I'm kind of curious if there's something that he shows them, whether it be, something that he can show on his phone or a tablet or something when he goes up, or does he just go and just speak without any visual for them?
Andrew, you start, and then Andrew, you start with that answer, and then I can have Chris follow up because he said he goes to the door with his phone, or right after Heather sends it to him. So, Chris, you start off.
Was
Andrew,
her question about what do we do when we get to the door, or when we first get the lead?
Emily?
Well, if you're getting the lead and within right away you get that lead in your email, which is I think how I'm understanding it works.
Right.
If you don't take the time, so you're just out there on the road, you get the lead and you decide I'm in this area right now, I'm going to go right to the house. How do you approach them? Do you use a visual at all? Do you show them your phone, or do you just speak?
Well, answer the first part of it. The times that I've ordered these leads, I've gotten them on the weekends, 80% of them. So I've gotten them on a Saturday or Sunday. So no, I wouldn't go. I wasn't on the road when I received the leads via email. So I do call them in the beginning right off the bat, like I said. I'm like a hawk. I mean, as soon as the lead gets in, I'm calling it. And it's fresh as a daisy. It's like going into that diner with fresh eggs and fresh bacon. They still have the scent. They order the visual, and they want it. And that's the best time to do it. Now, to answer your question, if I was out, I definitely make copies of these. I print them out, and I do put them in my little spinner, as I call it, when I'm out there with my direct mail leads. I'm filtering them right on in there in order in a geographical area where I'm not going to be in one town for one call on a lead and another town on another call. I geographically set it up where it's time consuming or time efficient, I should say, where I'm going to go and approach that lead when I'm in that area on Monday or Tuesday. I'm not going to wait a week for these. I'm going to try to get on them ASAP because they were a Facebook lead. You have to treat it sort of like a telemarketed lead. I don't know if that helps you, but like I said, my leads have come in like on a late Saturday afternoon and Sundays, boom, boom, they were all in. I was like shocked, so it was quick.
Okay, so you're going within a 24 to 48 hour period of time, not necessarily within an hour of receiving that lead or something like that.
Well, I'm going to certainly try. If let's put it this way, if it was 2:00 in the afternoon right now today and I got a Facebook lead, I'm all over it like white on rice. Absolutely. I'm doing everything in my power to give it a call. If the person is very receptive and say, geez, I'm in your area right now. I can see you in 30 minutes or an hour and 15 minutes. What's better for you? I'm not giving them an opportunity for tomorrow to let those eggs and bacon, dry up and get cold. I want them to serve it fresh.
Okay. Thank you.
Chris, what is your, or if you can repeat what you said you do when Heather sends you the leads, please?
Well, if I'm in the general area, I just take my phone, I get it. Now, if I got time to print it out, if I get them in the evening time or something like that, then I'll print them out and go that next day. But when I get them, in theory, when I get them, I'm like, bam, ooh, I get to see Heather Davis over here, boom. I directly go to that house with my phone. I've got the lead, brought up on my phone, everything, all that information that you would have, when you print it out. And I'm showing up at your door looking good, smelling good, and smiling. So I don't let any moss grow under my feet. But I do, to answer a question, I do take a visual. I just don't show up and say, hey, I'm the insurance guy you wanted information from. I have it done professional. I have my, have the lead brought up so I can show them, hey, I'm looking for Heather here. I'm Chris Owens, and I'm responding to her information that she requests for life insurance. And here's another thing that I do. I want to share this earlier. I don't know if anyone else does this. Luis, you're savvy like that. I go on Facebook, and I actually bring that person's name up. And the reason why I do that, because I kind of want to see what they look like, see how active they are on Facebook. Now, why would I do that? Well, because if they're active like that, they're going to remember. And so, I kind of, just kind of do a little homework, like while I'm, if I'm in front of the house or, down the street from the house, I'll just kind of bring it up so I kind of have an idea of what this person looks like. Because believe it or not, I know people have experienced this. Sometimes people say, no, I didn't do that. I drove about 40 minutes out of my way to do to chase a Facebook lead Friday, and the lady swore up and down, well, I'm not even hardly on Facebook. Well, I'd already known because I kind of looked her name up, and she said she didn't do it. She denied it. So you're going to get those that do that. That's why it's kind of good to take the visual with you because, hey, right here, about 2 hours ago you were on this and, you requested information. Now, if you've forgotten, while I'm here, let me just give you this information because obviously someone used your name or whatever. I play the game with them and say, hey, let me give you this information anyway. I actually got a sale that way. They were trying to lie their way out of it. And I got in the house anyway and still sold it. So, but you do want to kind of take a visual.
So,
Emily,
you somebody, just out of curiosity, how many people are business-wise have a Facebook presence? I mean, I have a Facebook page, but it's definitely my personal page, and I'm not really on there that often. So I'm wondering how much of that would be important for myself to have a business.
That's up to you. That's just something that I do. That's just something that I say, well, let me see what this person looks like. That's just something that I did. So, I'll do that. But
no, and that's valuable. I just mean as far as, do you have a Facebook page yourself that is related to the business, or I guess that's what I'm looking for.
No, I have a personal Facebook page. That's it.
Okay. All right. Good. Thanks.
Emily, based on your personal Facebook page, I've got one agent, Heather, and I spoke to last week. He's going to do a business Facebook page. What you can do is that when it says what you do for a living, your past and all that stuff there, you can put down, independent insurance broker, independent life insurance agent. You can put something down in your personal file, so if they do decide to look you up, they're going to put your face with the title of what you do to where they can visualize as you come into their door. That's what I would suggest to do if you don't have that already.
And you know what, Joe? I've had 3 people to friend me on Facebook from doing these policies. And you know what that leads up to? That leads up to referrals.
Yes, yes.
So it's important that they know who you are, but, you know, it's kind of a sly, slick way to find out who they are.
Okay. Emily, thank you. Who's up, Jay? Mary. Okay, Mary, you're on the air, but Mary, before you talk, hold on one second. One thing that Chris brought up, it's amazing how we sit and speak and all this stuff here, and something triggers something in your mind. On these leads, you're going to get a phone number and an email. My suggestion is that if you sell something to somebody, put them in a phone number file on your phone and an email file on your personal email. The people you do not get a hold of, start up a phone lead where you can text them and also have an email follow-up. When Chris said 3 people have already responded to him, he probably has already taken their email out, and you guys have got to sit and think about what can I do to set myself apart than my competition. If you come up with like a little monthly newsletter, okay, if anybody's over 50 years old, you get AARP articles, you can get something from AAA, you can get something about whatever just to send an article out to people to where you keep your name and face in front of them. And if you can, I'd put a signature on the bottom of your email with your picture. So these are things that you guys can think about doing to where it doesn't cost that much. The information is given to you. It's just going to take you up a little bit of time to work up like an actual database. So it's another way to keep in front of people to where they call you back. And sometimes people don't want to talk to you that particular day even though they want the information. So our job is to stay in front of them to where we're being aggressive, bounty hunters, and delivery people. Okay. Mary, are you on the air?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning. Okay. What I'll do? Good morning. I'll have Luis start, and then I'll follow with Andrew. Okay, Mary. What is your question to Luis?
Okay. First, I wanted to just ask you a quick question that what you just referenced about the newsletter. It's monthly, just doing that every month. Is that enough, or do we need to send it out more frequently?
Do agents send it out more frequently than once a month? Was that your question to me?
Yes.
No. I don't know if anybody sends it out more than once a month. In the beginning with these Facebook leads, I maybe send it out maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks, once every 10 days, whatever your comfort zone is. I don't want to be a nuisance to where they sit and block me, you know what I'm saying? I would probably change my subject line when I send it out to where something might catch their attention this time than last time. But I think it has a lot to do with the area you live in, the people that you're around. You can just try and see how it works out for you. If you were doing it every 2 weeks and getting a good response, I'd leave it every 2 weeks.
Okay. That sounds good. That sounds really good. Okay. Okay. So when you get the Facebook leads, I actually had 2 questions. I can't find the other one. I got it down here. But one of my questions were, do you use just one carrier, or you shop the carriers? Is there one specific carrier that you speak with your prospect about or lead about, or do you use like different multiple carriers, a quote from different carriers?
Is that for me, Joe?
Luis? Yes, sir.
Okay,
Luis,
yeah.
you're here.
So, basically, it all depends on the client. When you go in, I use the fact that I'm a broker, that I can use various clients to fit the client's, various carriers to fit the client's needs. I'll throw out some of the big names for them, but at the end of the day, it all depends on them. I don't want to talk to them about certain carriers and then they're not approved for that carrier, or I have to figure this way or that way. Once I have, again, that's that hunter-gatherer. You're gathering all the information so you can make a decision at the end of the day, and you're going to tell them where they're going to be best. Because if you give them 4 different options, 2 or 3 of those options might not even be available. So, you just want to make sure that you're gathering all the information, the right information from the beginning. That way you know exactly which way to go. But there's always, a good 3 to 5 carriers that you want to use and you're comfortable with. But yeah, I never just go, okay, I'm going to use Mutual of Omaha every time on every client I get. You know, they're a little sticky sometimes. They don't fit. Not everybody fits with them.
Okay, good. Andrew, what are your thoughts on one carrier or multiple carriers thought process?
No, after I sat down with the individual at the kitchen table, coffee table, whatever it may be, I will go into and just mention to the people, you know, while we're here to make this very simple for both of us, I need to ask you some simple health questions to see which direction and which company is going to best fit you and your needs. And I'll just basically just come flat out and say, in the past 2 to 4 years, have you had any diagnosis of cancer or a heart attack or a stroke, diabetes, or are you insulin dependent? I'm going after the biggies right off the bat to see if they can qualify for a level day one plan or if not. So once I've gathered that information, I will then choose, you know, maybe a carrier like Mutual of Omaha and just read down every one of their health questions and see if they answer a yes to any of those questions. If they don't, then, you know, I will stick with Mutual of Omaha. If they do say, geez, I may have had a TIA maybe about 9 months ago or a year ago, then I know maybe Mutual of Omaha is not going to be the best option for them. I'm going to have to maybe go to like a Royal Neighbors. You can pivot at that point. But, you know, I've learned, you know, over my experiences, I like reading, and it does take maybe 3 to 5 minutes, but I will read basically word for word on what the questions are on the application, so I can have a great understanding of what their health is, and then I'll finalize it with, you know, by the way, what type of prescription medication have you been on in the last 12 months that you've gotten from a doctor? Is there maybe a prescription that a doctor has taken you off a certain prescription here in the last 12 months? Has any of your prescriptions gone up or gone down in milligrams in the last 12 months, just to get an idea of where a person's health is when it comes to scripts also, because the companies are going to look at that. So, yes, I mean, I do take one company, Mutual of Omaha, using that one as an example for now, and I will read it right off the bat to see if, really get a great idea what their health is going to be, and then pivot from there.
Good, thank you. Chris, what are your thoughts on that same question, please? One company or multiple companies?
Yeah. You know, kind of what Andrew said. That's exactly the approach that we should all take. You know, don't pigeonhole yourself into one company. You know, do a little fact finding. You know, because medications for one company is totally different a lot of times than other companies. You know, and the more you work with these companies, the more you'll be able to kind of pinpoint, you know, okay, well,
right,
you know, she takes furosemide, and then, you know, just kind of know what companies kind of shy away from certain drugs, like Maricold. They're kind of stingy with the furosemide. Yeah, so, you know, it's just a matter of, you know, just like they just said, you know, it's the same thing. Just get familiar with them, but you definitely have a little bag there with a whole bunch of options. And like he says, I like that pivot. So same thing.
What I would do is I'd add to that, Mary, exactly what these gentlemen said. I would learn one carrier inside out. Pick the carrier you like. You like Royal Neighbors, Maricold, Mutual, whatever carrier that you feel comfortable with that works for you. Some agents don't want to do a point of sale because they don't want to do it. Some agents want it, so it's done and over with. So pick a carrier you like, learn the application inside out, go down the questions. If it doesn't go, the word of the day is pivot. Pivot to the next carrier that you know. And then if you're not sure, call me up, call your manager up. But you got to know one carrier inside out, and then you got to know a couple other ones halfway, so you know when you pivot. Like, for example, with Mutual of Omaha, if you were started to be a diabetic prior to age 50, a pill or shot or anything, you can't have Mutual. We've got other carriers that you can, but these are the little small things by learning one carrier. When you do make that pivot, you're going to know which one is going to take care of your client. Personally, I like what we have, multiple carriers that offer different programs, because if you work for one exact company or only one company, you've got no choice but to put them with that company. and then you run a chance of your policy being flipped from an independent agent coming in. So you need to learn the policy, pivot to the right company, do it, and be a little aggressive and make a sale. So, okay. I'm going to end the call. We've been on it for a long time. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start with Luis, then Andrew, and then Chris. And we're going to end up with, tell me so far what has been the most enjoyable part about working with the Facebook leads. Luis, you go first, please.
For me, it's interested people. You know, when I got in the broker world, I was just looking back at my clients, just trying to generate business however I can. You know, here in Arizona, the leads are harder to get to order direct mail because they don't respond as much. So just as fast as I got them and as fast as they come in, you even have to slow, like, whoa, they're coming in way too fast. I need to hire people now. You know, so I started thinking, okay, I need to hire more agents because I can get these. But it's the fact that they just are so fast and they're so interested. That combination for us is, like, again, a game changer.
Okay, thank you. Andrew?
It's another source to get in front of people. Now we have the telemarketed leads, we have the direct mail leads, now we have these type of leads, and they're half the cost. So being in Florida, like Joe said, I'm, $34 a pop. I'm paying $17 now. Give them to me, baby. Yeah, that's 2 for 1. I'll do it all day.
It does make sense. Okay, Chris.
Okay, I would have to say, the fact that, you can use these leads, with your direct mail, and being in the same area and whatnot. If you're having like a slower day, these things pop in your mailbox. It just kind of takes the monotony out of it, and you're able to, service them and be fresh with them as soon as you get them. And it just kind of gives you a little something extra. And of course, that cost is amazing. And even though you're giving 16, but sometimes you get more, that's a plus also. So just the option to use more than one type of lead just makes it that much more fun every day.
Giddy up, so. Okay, well, I want to thank everybody. We'll end the call. Luis, Andrew, and Chris, thank you for being on the call. And Marie, Sam, Emily, and Mary for asking some questions. Don't forget that when you buy these leads here, get with Heather. She'll set you up. There's a 14-day email that follows up from the day they send it in. Get some of the little delivery notices to leave on the door if they're not there. Print out, if you can, if you're like Chris and you get it, you go to their house, you can't. But if you can, print out the actual paper Heather sends you. It's got their name, their address, etc. on there. And then set up your own database to get your own client list to where you can constantly do a drip. Mary is asking, do you do it weekly, bi-monthly, monthly, whatever you feel is smart to do. Be a bounty hunter, be a delivery person. And with that said, gentlemen, thank you very much, Luis, Andrew, and Chris. And again, Marie, Sam, Emily, and Mary for asking questions. Everybody make it a great day, and I appreciate everybody's hard work. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.